Okay, guys, I'll start recording. So again, guys, now today what we'll do, you have already done the hardest part. You have installed Eclipse and you have installed Java, so that was a bit, especially it looks very difficult because you don't know yet what each one of them does, and it seems meaningless, and it seems that you did not understand anything on it. So be sure after you understand a little bit more regarding Java itself and also Eclipse, then you will be more confident, and you will look back at it and you know what you did. Okay, so today that's what we'll do. We'll go initially we'll go over just how will we communicate with each other, what type of flow we will use, and we have to get really used to that, because this is the way that every company communicates. So especially during these times, during COVID-19, all the communication was online. Everyone was either using Slack or using Zoom or using WebEx, whatever technology tools that the company subscribed to in order to communicate. Okay, so you need to get really good at this. As most probably you will, each one of you probably will also get some type of remote work or part-time remote, part-time on-site job after this. So you need to get really keen on using these technology tools and to communicate with each other. Okay, so that's why we encourage a lot of slacking. So please, if you didn't understand something during the class, it might be early right now, we didn't go over anything yet, but feel free to write even off classes. So you don't have to use Slack only on the class time. You can use Slack anytime you're doing your homework or you're working at, let's say, just in the morning, and you can Slack to your privately to some other colleague or to some other classmate in there, or even to the instructors, or you can also post in public and get an opinion, or maybe get a more easier explanation to something that you didn't understand. Okay, so feel free to do that. And that is, so basically I would suggest, I would want you guys to not to comment on the Zoom webinar here, but rather on Slack. Okay, so make sure everyone is logged in on Slack. I see people, maybe they are not online, but some of the people I see, they are not online, which makes me think probably they did not join on Slack. So please, you might have a question or something, join on Slack as well, and keep it on the side in case you want to ask something. All right. Now, let's start our first class. Just so that for those who probably were not, so for those who probably were not on the orientation, just so I present myself, my name is Sabah. I'm currently a PhD candidate. It's my at least full course. It's my second year teaching in the same course. So kind of whatever you have regarding the questions you might encounter, or even sometimes if you have any even career related questions or so, you can reach out to me, and I'll try to help you as much as I can. All right, so I would ask, generally, because Albanians are like that, probably Turkish people are too, generally they are not easy to approach, in the sense that you might feel not comfortable approaching or so. Please don't worry about that. We'll get to know each other. Just write whatever questions you have, whatever you want to know, and I'll get back at you. All right. Now, that aside, today we will start with lesson 1. So what we will see on lesson 1. Let me share my screen. All right. Let me make sure I'm sharing the right one. Can you guys see my screen? You can write on live channel. Okay, let me just. Screen, sorry. Perfect, perfect. So that's, guys, everything you have, all the questions. I see you real time. Let me know whatever you have. Okay. Now, on our first class, as I mentioned, think of it as an introductory class. Again, it might have seemed somehow confusing installing apps and everything that you needed to set up, but please take your mind off that for the moment, and let's try to let's start with a clear mind on whatever we will see today. All right. So generally, that's you will see, and what you'll learn with time, and also for people who have a background in computer science, is that sometimes different systems have different properties. Like not all people are all alike. The computers are not all alike as well sometimes. So somehow someone might have a problem and installing something, and that makes it things a little bit itchy at the beginning. But now you're all set. If you are not set, please let us know, right? You need to be set by now. And if you don't have Java and Eclipse installed, you might still start getting behind because you want to practice on your own time as well. All right. So what, first of all, our commitment, guys. I can personally, I've seen a lot of people go through this. I can assure you that you will be successful only if you follow the courses, even if not like you can't right now, you might be working at, let's say in one of the days, follow it as soon as you can before the next class. Don't let classes build up upon each other. All right. And keep in mind that in the class, we cannot always stay too long in one little thing, right? In one material. So please make sure that you study on your own too. That's crucial. Okay, so basically you will rewatch the video, you will go over the materials, and most importantly, start getting into a tester mode, which means that starts thinking in terms of code, start thinking in terms of who you are who you will be as a tester. All right. Now for lesson 1, this is what we'll do today. Okay. So we will just discuss what is programming for those who do not have a background on it, what is Java, and why do we decide to learn Java. All right. And what did we install? And also we will go into Eclipse and just now get familiar with the setup and everything that's in there. All right. So nothing is missed yet, guys. We are just starting. And again, you can always watch this course, and if some questions come up on your mind, you can always reach out and ask whatever your question is. All right. We are pretty much, I think we can handle the size of the class, as we are 4 instructors who can help with anything you have. All right. Now let's go into programming first. All right. Now think of programming as tasks, or let's say duties given to you. You might, even if you might not have a kid or so, you might have for sure you've been a kid to somebody. All right. So they told you, like, you gotta go to the store, you have to buy this, and then you gotta come back home with them. All right. So these are instructions given to you, right? And programming is nothing different than this. Basically, you're telling to the computer, do this, go to this property, go to this location, do this and that, and then tell me what happened or how did it go. All right. So this is, think of it as programming as a list of instructions that you tell the computer to accomplish, to execute, and then give you a result back, give you an answer back. All right. And this is also known as coding. Why? Because this programming is done in coding, and coding is a very general term as it refers to many different languages. Think of it like in between people we're speaking. We can be speaking English, we can be speaking Albanian, Turkish, many different languages. And the same thing is analogous is true about coding. Coding can be done in Java, in Python, C#, whatever other languages that there might be. And it's just, think of it as a medium of communication between humans or programmer tester with the computer. Okay, so basically you will give it some input to the computer using the code, and then it will give you back something. All right. Now, why do you have to write in code? Because they have to be converted to the computer language, which is zeros and ones. So that's why you cannot just, I mean, you can now, you have voice comments and you can give some comments through voice nowadays, but you cannot just talk to the computer and just accomplish those tasks. All right. So that's why we need programming. And again, keep in mind just a simple list of tasks that you give the computer to do, and you expect a question or an answer in your turn, that the computer will tell you whether everything happened correctly or not. All right. Now, so as we said, computer programming is just instructions that we write using a certain type of programming language. All right. Now, every programming language, which, as I said, is also known as coding, has its own different properties. Now, for example, on Java, we can use some tools to write. We must have something installed in the computer and so on. If you are working with, let's say, with another type of language, then it will need similar tools, but probably better working for that language. So, you know, like, so basically there are some, the general way how they work is the same, but different languages might require some different apps or programs and so. We will focus on Java, all right? And why? Java simply is overall overwhelming in the market. So basically, if you know Java, or if you learn Java really well, even if you get a chance to work, or if you get an offer and they tell you like, oh, can you work on this other language instead, we will not be using Java in the future, let's say, if some, or the company does not use Java for that position, you can always switch to that, because you will see that every logic is similar to that. And like some people know their first language and everything, and they learn another language just based on that. So, oh, how do you say tree? So I look at, I would say in Albanian, what's that? It's tree. Okay, I make the relation. And same is with coding. So if you know Java, you can easily also make this, basically make this relationship between two languages as well. So you can always pass from one to the other. That's why if you learn really good one coding language, one programming language, you should be able to always learn more. All right. Then each language has a set of keywords. Now we will see how we communicate. So especially starting today, you will start learning some keywords. Remember that even if you started learning a new language, you would be, think of it about the easiest book, which is the alphabet first, and then you start learning some words. Okay, so think of it that way. So I remember on my first time I was reading, I started learning a third language, which was Turkish. After English was Benim Adım Ahmet, for example, very, very small sets of instructions, and there were some difficult words at the beginning, but you get used to know what they mean. Okay, so the same thing will happen today, guys. You will see some keywords, and probably you'll be like, oh, I mean, what does that mean, or what does that do? And by time you will be able to tell and to use each one of them. All right, so that's how even language develops. Even here, that's how you learn the languages. Now, Java is the most popular high-level programming language. Java has support for many different platforms, can work in any of the computer operating systems, and is widely used, especially for these type of positions where you want to program different frameworks, to do testing, and to test different applications as well. So that's why it's among the most powerful languages nowadays in market. And Java also enables programs to write. So most of the languages, depending, if something is developed in Turkey a lot, for example, if something becomes very famous in Turkey, it will have Turkish-based instructions. Or if it develops in Albania, they will start doing in Albania probably. But being most of them worked in US or even Europe, most of them usually use English-based commands. Okay, so hopefully for those who are not very skillful or who haven't had a lot of experience in English, this will also help them in learning English as well. All right. Very important one is that Java, remember this principle. So you write it once, it runs everywhere. So basically, if you code something in Java, you should be able to run it in every other platform. All right. So that's a very good benefit of Java, because as I said, it runs across multiple operating systems. So if you code it on Mac, it doesn't mean that it's not going to run in Windows. It's going to run there too. So that's if you can think of it, that's really a big thing, right? Because imagine if you would have such obstacle, you do something in your computer, then for someone to use that, he has to convert it or to do more work into using in his own computer as well. And lastly, Java is a case-sensitive language. What does case-sensitive? You will see this word a lot. So this is, now we are starting with terms, guys, okay? So this is where you start keeping notes and trying to remember stuff, okay? So case-sensitive means like languages have cases, or written English, for example, has uppercase and lowercase, right? So uppercase being, let me open a notebook just in case I want to write any notes in here. Give me a second, guys. All right. Now let's keep this thing over here. So cases, so case sensitive. This means that what are cases, guys, for those who, again, might not have had experience a lot in English. So case is this one, A, this is uppercase. And then we have A, which is lowercase. Actually, let me write this completely uppercase, and this is lowercase. So basically, these are the cases. And what does case sensitive means is that if we say to the computer A here, it is not the same as A. All right. So basically, these two are different. To us, they are both A, and we know that one is capital and the other one is lowercase. But the computer has no common sense like us. So in Java, there might be other languages who doesn't have it like this, but in Java, these are case sensitive. It means that if you say A, it is not the same as saying this A, right? So you gotta be precise, okay? You gotta be, if you want to say, let's say a word walk, right? It will not be the same as walk, for example. That's what this means, okay? And we will see this term along the way. We will see this term when we start comparing words or so. Basically, this should be easy. Uppercase A, it's not the same as lowercase a, okay? So keep that in mind. Now, this is Java, so we have centered Java there, and we have all the properties that we have, right? So that's why if it didn't have these, wouldn't be dominating the market. So because it can work in many different systems, it's secure, it's also portable. Portable means, again, working in different operating systems. It can support object-oriented. We will see what each one of those are, and also it's very simple to once you get the hang of it, it's very simple actually to code on it. And we will see. I have experience in other different languages as well. And I mean, as soon as you set up, it might look to you like, oh my god, like what it's like, this is very difficult. And this, imagine if you need this much work to set it up, then what do you imagine what you need in order to learn it, right? But no, that's not it. Some other languages are easier. You can start writing right away, but they are not as common sense as Java. So in this, I think you'll find it easy, even if you compare it later to other languages. Now, we already mentioned platform independent. What does it mean, platform independent? In this class, we have MacBook users who use Apple OS, but we also have Windows users, probably some other Unix users as well. And all of them can code. All of them, if let's say some of the students did some part of the project in Mac, and the other was done in Windows, that wouldn't be any problem. You can join these two and run a project together. All right. So again, you will not be, now think about that, working on the same project and in the same files or in the same code, you will not have trouble even if you are on different systems. Okay. It has a rich standard library. So now remember we mentioned words. So you start learning words, and those words have meaning. Think of it, the libraries, as a vocabulary or a thesaurus. Okay, so usually what we would keep when we learn different languages is that we keep a English to Turkish or Albanian to English translation dictionary in case we want to learn words. So this is what you can somehow compare the libraries to. So these libraries, it means that it has a lot of keywords, a lot of actions you can do, and that's why it makes things easy. For example, you want to easiest thing, you want to calculate, you want to have a calculator in code so that it calculates numbers that some user gives, just as a simple calculator does, right? And if you do this in another language, probably it needs more work. Why? Because some of the functions might not be there. Some of the ideas or some of the keywords might not be there. Meanwhile, Java has a very rich library, okay? So basically it has a lot of words. And if you have a lot of words, you can express yourself better and sometimes even shorter. Then this is also important, but you don't have to remember this right now. This probably might become important when you get ready also in the let's say into interview stages or so, when you learn more what you should say about Java, what you should discuss about Java, or different actions, different questions you can get. So when you write coding, you create objects, basically you are using your laptop's memory. Okay, it's like storing a picture or storing something, but you are writing something instead. Even if you're writing a note in a TXT file, or even if you're writing in a Word file, you are actually adding more, you are using more memory from the computer, right? And if you, in the case of coding, once you create those objects need space, and in some languages, you need to explicitly allocate space from memory, so which makes it kind of more difficult. But for Java already does its allocation and deallocation itself. So for example, it sees that you are not using something that you put there, it puts it into garbage. So kind of think of it as a self-cleaning when it comes to that, all right? And it offers great performance. Again, this might be a little bit more forward, you will see this in the future as well. But you can also, for example, now computers are getting even stronger. You have 8 cores, you have 16 cores, and so on. And some applications that you might want to make them run faster, you can create concurrent coding. So basically, you can create. You can tell the computer that, okay, these 2 codes, you can run them at the same time, and you can separate them in different cores and so on. So this is, again, it might be too specific, and probably even you will not need anything, but just keep that in mind. And if you keep that in mind, it's an argument why Java is very, very popular and useful. It's secure and simple as well. So you will see that it has some kind of logic. As soon as you grasp that logic, you'll be able to start right away coding. So probably by the next class, you'll get some homeworks or so, just to start warming up and putting your fingers on the keyboard. But it's simple to start writing, and as well as secure. So you will see again that you can actually code your platform so that they are more secure, and you will hide things that you don't want to show to other people, and so on. So this makes Java very favorable towards others. Now, again, among different usages, why is it so popular? Again, it's because you can do web development with JSP, Java Server Page. You can code different frameworks, right? You can work on Hadoop and big data here. That's why, like, all the key, let's say, key fields when it comes to coding, programming, or IT, it can be done with Java. That's why it's so popular. Because think about it, like if you have a company, you don't want to use some part of it Java, some part of it I want to do in a C# and so on. If you have the option, you'll say, okay, I want a uniform system. I want one system where I can do all the things in there. That's why it's very popular. And continuous testing here, as well as Android applications and so on. All right, so all of these are different usages that Java can be very useful. In the meantime, guys, if you have any question, feel free to write, okay? Now, Java, I'm sure that even for those who have no experience at all, or maybe even it's the first time they hear about Java, I'm sure they have used it. Like 100% sure they have used it. If they have used a mobile, or if they have paid with a card, or done something, or even video games and everything. Right now, a lot of it resides on Java. So after that, or the back end or background of them is actually on Java. So that's how, now think about it, how crucial is it to the market? How crucial is it? And lately, Python have been a bit useful when it comes to some areas of IT, but Java is still very, very widespread when it comes to the market, because most of these applications choose Java because of its security and reliability. Okay, and that's why it's everywhere in every type of the system. Now, regarding what we installed, all right, this will be helpful when it comes to the installation. So remember, first we installed Java, then we installed Eclipse, right? But even when we downloaded Java, we said that we want to download Java SDK, right? Which includes JDK itself and JRE. So now, what do these mean? We said that if you code something in Java, it can run on different systems. How do they do it? Basically, even if you don't want to code on your computer with Java, you need to have at least a JRE, which means Java Runtime Environment, if you want to run something that was coded in Java. Remember that, I don't know if any of you has encountered, you are installing something in your computer, but it's saying that it requires this application, or it requires Java to run, or it requires C++ to run, let's say, something. These things happen because they must be there in order to run. And this is the simplest thing that probably I'll say, even in many computers, as soon as you buy, it comes already in there now. Why? Because you want to be able to run many of these applications. And to run those applications, you need to have these runtime environment. Okay? Now, JDK, this is what we installed. All right, this is what we installed. Now, Java Development Kit. Think of it like a sewing kit or doing kit or something kit. It means that is a set of tools, right? A kit. It can be used also for other like car tools or so. It's a kit, a set of tools that helps on development. So if you want to develop, not only run those applications, but if you want also to write code, you must have this installed. And that was the first thing that we installed after the orientation. Okay, guys? Now, JVM is also a very, very important concept. And you need to understand this well, especially when it comes to knowing the general, how Java works in general. All right. So this is known as, it stands for Java Virtual Machine. Okay. So again, how does Java work in many systems? Because if you want to do something in Windows, you should do it as the Windows requires it. If you want to do it on Mac, you should do it as Mac OS requires it, right? Because they have different systems. But what Java does, basically, it puts some kind of a translator in between. So Java, think of it this way. So I have a company and I run into 3 different states. I have different, by states, I mean countries at all, not US states. I mean one in Germany, one in Turkey, one in US. Okay. And instead of, let's say, going through trouble to learn all these languages, what I do is I put a translator for each. So when I say something in Albania, and the translator for Turkish translates it in Turkish, the translator for German translates it in German, and for English translates it in English. So basically, I speak once. Okay, I speak once, and all of them translate it. This is how it works, and this is what Java Virtual Machine is. You are, no matter the machine you are working on Windows, you are working on Mac OS or whatever, you are writing something, and this tool here, the Java Virtual Machine, it will translate it into a Java bytecode, which means that this is what makes the write once, run anywhere possible, because then that converts it into class files, and then it converts into machine code. So basically, this is how it works. Is this example clear, guys? That's why it says write once, run anywhere. Okay, think of it from my example, it would be talk once and translate it to everywhere. All right. Okay, so I see not many questions. Either I'm being too clear or you're not following me. Which one is it? Okay. So far, so good. Perfect. Okay, so these guys don't. What I would say is don't worry. Don't worry if you cannot, like, once you hear it immediately, keep that in mind. You will need, it's like a language. Remember, you need to learn words, you need to repeat those words, you need to go over them in order to learn them. So don't expect that after the class you are okay, I know all of these. Just go over them again and again so that you can now really understand what they're about. Okay. And yes, I like, even for the tester course, I think we actually do a lot amount of Java, which means that if you really work hard on Java, I think if you enter somewhere, let's say in a company as even a tester, usually when they employ developers and so they do it internally. So I'm sure that if you get really good in Java, and that doesn't matter, like, and that doesn't depend on your previous education or anything. I mean, it can help if you have seen it before and if you have experience, but it's not a must. Like, once it only depends on what you will do here. Okay, so once you do that, once you learn this really good, I think that you can even not maybe be only a test, but also if you find a good position and so go for also a programmer and also advance in the career. So don't think of it as okay, I'm a tester my whole life, I'm going to do this. So think of it this way: this position or this course is created to explain everything for a tester. So it's based on a job position, but these skills are shared. Like, think of it this way: if a nurse really gets really good and studies a lot, and so they can become a doctor as well. Okay, and he removed the academic thing, like you gotta go and take a diploma or so. Most of, like, nobody really, I mean, for managing positions, so probably they will ask like management and an MBA or something. But when it comes to coding, Do you know how to do it? They will ask you in an interview, can you do this? You do that, you're in. All right? And all these materials, they will be shared with you through the Google Classroom, okay? Now we come, let's say we come to IDEs. So we are done with Java, guys. Now, what do we need to know about Java? Let me just summarize into 2 or 3 points, okay? So Java. Okay. What did we say first? Why is it needed? Why is it needed? Or let's say JRE first. This is to run, very simply, to run Java applications. We said JDK to code Java applications. Okay. And JVM is translator from Java code to machine code. Learn it this way right now. Very logical. You will then go into details, but just keep this in mind, okay? Now we will jump into what we installed next on the last time, okay? We said that IDEs or Eclipse. We installed Eclipse in this case, but not only Eclipse. You see Eclipse here, you have IntelliJ, NetBeans, you have many different IDEs. And what does an IDE stand for? IDE is Integrated Development Environment. Now, initially, before these come to life, how was coding done is that you would write in such a file, empty file, you would write some code, and then you would go into command prompt here and say, run it, okay? You would use these mediums, okay? But you see that this is not helpful. You need to copy paste, you did a mistake, you forgot something, you would have to change the file, then go and run again here and so on. So what happened? IDEs came to life. Now these IDEs are applications that can help you to make coding easier for you. So in the same application, you write the code, you can edit the code, you can run the application, you can see the result, and everything you can do it on one application. That's why it's integrated development, because it integrates. You will see later on that we will start coding here, we will jump into the web page, we will see what happens on the web page, it will come back to the application. So that's why it integrates everything, and you can everything you want to do for the project, you have it there. Okay, that's why they are known as integrated development environment. All right, guys, up to here, do you have any question, anything, whatever? Is it all clear? No questions? Okay, then, guys, if you have no question, let's take a break. Okay, we will take a break for 15 minutes. Okay, break until, we will say 8 exactly. Is that okay, guys? So what do you need to do? Just get up from your computer, move around a bit so that you be more fresh. And if you have time, if your eyes are okay, they don't need a break, you can just go over the slides again and see if you have any question. Okay. So we will rejoin, we will reconvene at 8. So after 15 minutes. See you guys in 15 minutes. Again, comment in Slack whenever you are back. Perfect, perfect. Okay, we can slowly start, and also as we recap, then we can continue on the new topic, or let's say new environment. So basically, guys, are we okay with what we did? So what we went through is general terms of programming, coding, what each one of them is, and then in particular Java that we said. So if we try to kind of map what we did, we said that programming, which is coding, all right, and then this here leads us to, what is that? Java. So Java is a type of coding, okay? And then we said that we have also then Java, we worked on Eclipse. Okay, we said Eclipse, which is an IDE. All right, so this is particularly, so what we did, we explained what coding is, what programming is, their instructions, we said their how we communicate with the computer. Then we said that that medium of exchange, or that, let's say, communication language, that is done by using Java. Java is just a type of language. Okay, we can do programming with other languages as well. And then we said Eclipse. What is Eclipse? Is just some tool that collects everything we need regarding to write code, to execute the code, to check out if you have any troubles, and so to build projects, to collect the projects in there, everything. Eclipse helps with that. All right, good to go. Let's move on. So probably since you installed Eclipse, you might have opened it. Have you opened Eclipse for the first time, guys? So I want you guys to vote on this. So please, you can upvote. You can vote the comment for all of you. I want to see if all of you guys have actually been able to open it. And if somebody has not been able to, please contact. You can either contact now to Ahmed and he will try to help you through this, or we can, even if you don't figure it out during this hour, please contact us right after the class so that we can help you set it up, okay? Because again, you don't want to, it's fast-paced course, you don't want to get held back, you don't want to stay behind. Okay, 12 upvotes. Is it how many people are here now, or somebody's not upvoting? 13. Guys, please upvote the second comment as well. For those who it's the first time working with Eclipse. Why do I need this? Agnieszka, please, guys, comment on Slack, okay? I might not, sometimes I don't see the chat on the webinar. Use Slack to communicate, okay? And yes, you need to open it so that we can see everything opens correctly, and you can make sure that you can follow also on your computer on the view and everything, okay? And please, I want to see who is using for the first time Eclipse. This will help me try to see how in details I need to go to explain certain stuff, okay? And so that I don't just go fast or slow, too fast, you know, those, whenever, I'm sure it's a very wide, different audience with different backgrounds. So that's why I want to make sure that I'm understood and I, let's say, want to put. So please, yeah, Mehmet Erdogan, please upvote. You can press on the, if you press, so guys, upvoting, again, for those who's the first time using the Slack as well, in this type, considering like a poll, you can upvote it. Once you click here, you will upvote that, okay? You see? So click there and it's, I will just understand as a number, like how many people are seeing it the first time. Perfect. All right, so I see like at least half of the class actually, or considering 20 people have been able to open Eclipse. I'm sure probably the other 10 have not upvoted yet, or the other 9, I would say, or 8. The other 8 on the webinar haven't had the chance to vote. Okay. So basically, we need to actually be a little bit detailed, I think, because it seems at least half are using it for the first time. So guys, this is now Eclipse, which is the tool that we will use to run our codes. It's a tool that we'll use to write the code, to execute it, to see the result, what happened, and everything that we want to do. So hardly ever than this, I mean, we will have to do anything outside of this at the moment, okay? So basically now for the at least 2 or 3 months, we will extensively be based on all of this interface here, on all of this application, okay? So that's where we will learn Java, okay? Now, what do we have here? Like any other applications, we have a set of menus up top. These menus now offer us the different options, like file, like all others. You can import, export, you can exit, you can open some projects from files, and so on. So these are general options, okay? Again, for edit, again, you have copy, paste, and selection, find, replace, depending, again, what you want to do. But you don't need to exactly remember all of these, guys. So I can tell you, most of them you will not be using them like frequently, because copying, pasting, you do it not just with a keyboard, and so you will get really fast at it. But just as an introduction, and to know, it's good to know where, if you want something, where can you find it, okay? Again, source, all of them, you see most of them are inactive, which means that right now we don't have any code. So source usually works with the code. So if you have some code and you want to make a group comment, you want to do something, and so on, you can work there. You can find it there. All right. Refactor, again, works with the code. Depending on what you want to do, again, it works in there. Navigate, now if you want to move in different environments, if you want to move, or again, you will learn later some other tools as well where you want to move in different lines of code, and so on. Yeah, so Comran, you can have the 2020 as well, but even like I would suggest 2021. It works correctly as much as we saw it. But again, most probably it will not be a very big difference. All right, just in case. No, I think it will. The link would redirect you to 2021, March 2021, I think. Okay, but again, like just in case, yeah, we can always update it. Thanks, Ahmed. Then we have, again, search, if you want to search, and so on. So these are general menus. Now, what I want you guys to take a look at is that usually first-time users have trouble with the shapes and viewing. So for example, this can get this way. Sometimes it can rearrange to this. Okay, so depending, if you drag something by mistake, see, you drag this by mistake, something happens here, then you want to join it with the others, or do you want to put it there? You want to see this other menu, or you want this on the side and not assuming all the space in here. You want it here. So you see all of these now. This is something that usually confuses new users. All right, and I would like to that's why I make this first, so that you can see that, look, that doesn't actually create any problem with the program. Okay, only thing is that this is window is actually responsible. That's where you can customize your view. Depending on what you want to see when you're coding, you can remove all these menus. You can remove all those menus and you can just see one. And whenever you create one code or one document, it will show on the whole screen. Or you want to keep this console, which is generally, you'll see it's important. You want to keep it below here. Okay, that is all up to you. However you feel comfortable, however you want to have things ready there to check and so. Okay, so that will not, just what I want you to know from this, if accidentally you do something here, something shows on the side, something shows on the top, something like divides your screen like this or so, just I want you guys to know that does not cause any trouble when it comes to the let's say to the Eclipse itself. Okay, that's just customization. You want to see that way, you want to see that way. For if you want, you can always go to the default view. You can notice on the top here, if you have it open, it says Java here. Okay, so here there are different perspectives. These are known, so a certain view is known as a perspective. So if I open this one, for example, look, my view will change now. Okay, so it's changing based on what you are doing. If you are doing debug, which you'll learn later or so, you will change to that. But if you want to always go to your default Java view, you have it, you see in the top corner here, it reads as Java when you go over it. And once you click on that, it takes you back to whatever your main or default Java view is. Okay, and all these customization, all these menus, if it happens that you lose any of these menus, like you're not showing them, you go to this window here and you say that show view here. Okay, any view is here. You see console, we just closed it. We closed it here. You cannot see it anywhere. You want to show it, you go to this and you show this console. All right, now again, in the same menu at Windows here, you have also perspectives, different types of perspectives. Okay, and you can customize, you can create your own perspective. How do you want Eclipse to look when it loads up or whenever you are coding? You want to separate two different views or whatever you feel more comfortable, and it makes it easier for you to follow. Okay, now run here, run is the main, like the menu that we will try to use whenever we run projects, whenever we execute code, and so we will use this menu here. But you will see that let's say this run, you see this run button, you can either use this shortcut with that, or you will find it also in this menu bar here. This is like think of it like most used shortcuts. You can always, if you use something a lot, you can put it there. So remember that we removed our console there, and you can launch a terminal, you can run some code here, you can go into some other view of the other perspective here, and so on. So these are other just shortcuts. So for example, instead of saying file, new, project, you see here you have just a new, you see. So there are shortcuts that these menus here, they are all found into these other menus, but they are most used menus, shortcuts, and help you in that. Okay, that's why they are there, so that you, instead of just going and finding where you run as or run or debug, and so you just click on the option there. Okay, are we all clear up to here? Do you have any question? Guys, any question up to here? Are you okay? Is somebody seeing anything unexpected, or if someone seeing anything weird about Eclipse? All good, perfect. Now we will go ahead. we will go ahead and see how do we create our first project. So how do we create our first? You see here, we have this menu here as Package Explorer. And remember, you can always view here, like even if you don't have this one, guys, or there, if this one has moved, it has gone away completely, you can always go to Show View and Package Explorer. All right, now this Package Explorer, since we have no project yet, and I left this empty because I wanted to start whatever you start, okay? And whenever now we start adding up other creating projects, all the projects will show there, okay? So let's go ahead and let's create our first project. So how do we create this project? Oh, probably it's actually, let me, maybe because my monitor is larger, probably it's showing small, right? Let me try. If I have magnifier. Let's see if this will help me. All right. Not really, probably not. Yeah, not. Let me make this smaller. Yeah, the increments are too large. It makes it immediately 200%, so it doesn't really work that good. Yeah, so probably, Agnieszka, because your screen, it might be smaller than mine. It doesn't show that clearly, right? What I will do, I'll make sure that next time I don't project in a big monitor. I'll keep it in my laptop, and probably it shows it even clearer. Okay, guys, I'll keep that in mind. Now let's create our first project. Now, how do we create a project? Again, there are these menus. It's like it's navigation. These IDEs are made to help you navigate easy. Are meant to offer you different ways of doing the same thing. So, for example, if you want to create a new project, you can go to File. You can go to File here, New, Open File, and you can create a Java project. Okay. You see, this one enables you to create a project. You can say here, a new Java project, right? Again, the same view. Or since it's the first project, you can say here, create Java project. You see all of these options offered us the same view, okay? Yeah, I will not change the screen resolution because it changes everything else on other projections. So I will, probably that will make us spend some time and not fix anything. That's why. Okay, guys, up to here. It's basically the same three actions that we did. They enable the same thing. So that's what we're going to do. We will now create a project. Okay, this project here, we will say, okay, we will say we want to name this project as Java Basic. Okay, can you guys all type that and follow on that? Java Basic. And you will say here Java 1.8. Okay, so now make sure that it's this form. So if you might encounter troubles if you do in different sets of words, and I will try to understand, to explain to you why do we use this form and what's like. This is guideline and unwritten rules, so we will go over that. Now look at the location, guys. So it says here, it will say where your project will be created in your computer. Okay, and we are saying use default location. If you are not, then it will ask you to put a location, but here we are saying use that. Here we are saying to use this JRE. So basically we want to use this Java, basically this Java version to run it. Okay, so we have installed them in the computer. That's why they're showing there. Okay, and then you can say next here, and it will show you here, it will show the structure of the project. So basically it will show this Java Basic is the whole project, and here it has some folder inside of it where you will put codes and whatever you want to run. Okay, that is it. So again, here we are not going to change anything. We are just saying finish. Now all of you guys should have the first project here in the package explorer. Were you able to do it, guys? Let me put up a new poll. Okay, please, for those who did, just upvote there. Thank you. Oh, perfect, perfect. Very good audience, all following. Again, it doesn't mean anything. If you had trouble doing it, everything, you can try that again later by following the video. If you still encounter problems, we are here to help, guys. Okay, so SE18, it should be 1.8, 18. Which point? You can share an image, Erdogan, and also Ahmed will follow up with you if there's anything to follow up. Okay, so now we have created our first project and it's empty. We have nothing inside yet. Okay, so that is only our basically where we want to put everything that we want to do. Now look at the structure this project has. It has, as I said, a Java basic as we named it. Okay. And here it has some system libraries. Like if there's an arrow here, you would drag this down, it will show all these different jar files and so on. Okay. What these are, remember what we said earlier, libraries, that Java is very rich in libraries. These are libraries. And what these do is that these libraries enable us to basically use these keywords. So they are like the thesaurus. If we use something in code, we are able to, because Java has a translator here that knows what that word means, okay? And that's why we are able to use it. So this is the library, and this is by default. We didn't do anything additionally. The only thing that we did to have this here is that when we said create a project, here we said Java 1.8, okay? That's what we did. So that's why we have 1.8 here, because we said, and those libraries are automatically loaded when we say that we are working for this Java version. Okay. And there is this folder here, which is empty, guys. Now, this empty folder is the folder where we are going to put most of our coding files. But again, always we will be able to structure them as we want. All right, now this is our first project. If we want to see, let's go and see where the project is located. Okay, so select the project here and right click. You will see properties here at the end. Okay, once you select properties, here you will have a location. Okay, now aside to that, there is this button here that says show it in System Explorer. And once you click that, it will immediately take you, sorry, it took me on my other on my other view, it took me to the folder. It should take you to this folder. Did everyone do this? Okay. Were you able to see? So basically, we gave some commands to Eclipse. We told Eclipse that we want to build a project named Java Basic, and it created a folder for us here. You see, it has some things inside, some other files inside. Everything is there. Okay, let's do it again. Let's do it again, and then we'll create a poll. Okay, so go to Java Basic, right click on that. So Java Basic, right click, and we can show here properties. Once you see this properties, then just click on the button side. So this is the location. you can click on this button and it will open this folder for you. All right, guys, were you able to find this folder? Now, a very fast recap. Okay, let's do a recap more. Okay, so what did we do? We said file, new. Okay, Erdogan, we said new Java, create a Java project. We said Java basic. We said here, Ahmed will jump in, Evis, no worries, it's the same thing. You'll just have to go to project properties. And we create here Java SE 1.8, and we said finish, next, and finish. And then for Windows users, I'm sorry I did not specify that. For Windows users, you are able to right click on that and say immediately properties. Okay, here. For Mac users, folders and everything works in a little bit different. Okay, so Ahmed, can you show from your computer, like maybe put some screenshots on live channel so that students can follow, or maybe just describe what menus they can click. Oh, you want to share? Okay, we can do that too. Let me see where you are. Okay, screenshot, because I was checking and I don't think I can allow you to share right now. Okay, just put them some screenshots. So macOS guys, your bad luck tonight. Okay, Elion will show you when he uses his Mac to do so. Okay, the good thing is we're both working on different systems, and you get to see. I mean, some part of you get a bad luck night tonight. The others will get it next week, probably on Thursday. Anyway, guys, so what I want to show here, you don't have anything to do here. Like you don't. This is just to show you guys that when we created a project in Eclipse, this folder was created here. Okay, so whatever you are putting into this project will physically go into your document somewhere. That is what I want to show. Okay, for those from using Mac who couldn't find the project properties, no worries. You'll learn how to find them really by just looking at the screenshots, and it should be okay. But what you should know, we don't need to do, we're not going to do anything in here, okay? So basically, you still can follow all the course. But I just want to show that whatever we put there, whatever we put in Eclipse, it will end up on this folder. All right? Good up to here, guys? Not going too fast, I hope. And we already now have the first project. Now, guys, regarding the naming, for example, or writing, you will kind of understand how you can write everything in Java and so, but just so you know, for example, when it comes to, you see a project name, I wrote it as Java Basic. So you see, I wrote the first word in capital, the first letter, and then lowercase, then capital. This is known as, just FYI for your information, as Camel Case. Camel Case mean like when you write two or more words together, then you only capitalize the first letter. So for example, Sabah Bushai, like this. So see, only the first letter for each name, for example. Okay, so that's known as Camel Case, and that's what we used here. All right, now guys, we have our first project. Now, what do we do when we have that project? Now we need to create the smaller files that go into this project and that we write code on them. Okay. Now, how we will tonight we will give shape to all the project, actually, to all the project that we will continue adding new items as we learn more about Java. So here in this source folder, SRC is known as SRC, but it stands for source. Okay, you can right click in there. Okay, I'm sure probably this one should Mac OS people should be able to do this too, right? Are you able to click on this SRC? And you will say new. Perfect. If you're able to click there, we will say new. And we will say here package. Okay. And it asks, we will see this window that says that, okay, you are creating a new Java package. This is the source folder where it should be, Java Basic and SRC. And what is the name you want to put it? Okay. Now, before creating that, guys, what do we have up to here? Let's put this as project structure. Okay, we have a project that contains, now we are creating a package. Okay, then a package will contain Java file. This is the what we are trying to do. So basically, we are grouping files together. Okay, and what are we following up? We will each new class, we will create a new package, and everything that we do during that class, we will put it there. Okay, so that's what we will do. So basically, what are we doing now? We are creating a package here, and how we will name it is com.neotech.lesson01. Okay, I'll write for you guys. I'll wait for you guys to write it. Thanks, Ahmed. Okay, perfect. So now we will say finish here. Now we have this package here, guys. You see, we have this package, but see, that's empty. So basically, why are we doing this? Now think of it similar to you are following a class in the university, okay? And what you want to do is like, think of it creating a folder for each class, and whatever homework, whatever information you want you do, or whatever quiz you do, you put it in that class's folder. And this is the same thing. What we created here, we said that this is just a package that is regarding lesson 1. And whatever we do today for lesson 1, we will put it here on this package. Okay, that's known as package. And the naming, if you look at the naming, actually the name is the reverse of a URL. So think of it, this is com.neotech.lesson1. It's lesson1.neotech.com. That's the reverse of a URL. Like, remember, like if you go, for example, to neotech.com, and if you have another page which is like lesson1.neotech.com. So just for you to associate that with it, and you'll learn more about that later, okay? So now, if we go again, and now the Mac users will be able to go again to the properties, okay? Go again to properties, guys. And here, let's go again to see the project created folder. Okay, you will find this, and I hope the Mac people are doing too now, because Ahmed uploaded the screenshot. And you have SRC here, source. And if we go inside the source, you will be able to find all these levels of folders, com, Neotech, and lesson 1. Okay, because we put a dot on each one of those, okay? And it created all these folders for us. So we said src, com, Neotech, lesson 1. Are you guys able to see these? Let me put this here. Did you create a package? Let's upvote. I will see, I will get an idea of, and also guys, you can also upvote, like not downvote, but just say that you didn't, and I can add that reaction. I think that just a second. Okay, thank God. So you can also downvote if you like, not downvote, but you put an X if you were not able to. And I get an idea whether I should go over it again or not. So if it's just one person, I can help, like Ahmed can help. If a lot of people were not able to do it, we always stop and see that. Okay, so again, what did we do? We just created a package here. We named it as com.neotech.lesson1. And then we went again to this here, to the properties. Okay, Java Basic, we right click over that properties. When we click on show in Explorer, you should at least be able, even if you did not create the package, you should be able to see this part, Java Basic and SRC. Then if you created the package, this SRC should show com Neotech lesson 1. All right. Okay, let's see here on Ahmed's. Evis, can you check on Ahmed's screenshots? If not, we can always resolve it after. Okay, no problem. But if you are following these steps and if you are actually creating the package, and so I'm sure that the Eclipse is doing itself, so you don't need to go and check whether it's doing or not. But I just wanted to you guys to learn this and see where your project is at. All right, good, good. So now, guys, what we want to do now inside this package here, inside this package, now we are going, as we said, we created a project, we created a package here, and now we want to create a Java file, or as we will call it, a class. So probably you've heard, if you've heard before, a class file. Okay, so how do we do that? We say here, again, new. So see, the procedure to create new things is always the same, guys. You either can go here, you can create any of those, or you can go here, create again new, any of those. Okay, or right click in the location where you want to do it and you say new. Okay, all of those new give you the option to create anything new. All right, now what we want to select, we already created a package, now we want to create a class. Okay, now this is the new Java class view. So every time, now this will become so mundane to you that you'll do it in your sleep because you'll be creating classes over and over. Today we will not create many classes, we will just stick to one class, but as each lesson progresses, we can always we will be creating more and more classes. Okay, so what do we want to name our first class? We want to name our first class as Hello World. Okay, this is the first thing usually everyone who learns Java does. Okay, everyone. So basically, why is that? There's a very cool story to that, because the first written code, computer code, actually was this message. So the scientist had a humor, so they just printed hello world. It's like the computer is saying hello to the world. Okay, so that's why they do this. Okay, now we created, are you able to create it? You can always double check these things you have here. Source folder, it says that it's Java Basic and SRC, and packages com.neotech.lesson01. Okay, and again, name, we just put it hello world. All of these things now, whatever these are here, we will learn them, but not now. So you don't need to worry about that right now. Each time you will be able to, let's say, to learn one or the other one. Okay, so let's create it again for those who couldn't do it on the first time. So you right click over the package here. For those who are using only the trackpad on Mac especially, Hakan has it right, so you will need to press with 2 fingers in order to perform a right click, okay? Or with a mouse is just the right click. Okay, perfect. Camel Case, start from here, exactly, Azel. Now again, we are creating a class. We are saying here new class, and we are saying here hello world. Now, Camel Case is also helpful as well, because if you write it like this, and probably if we add something else too, like you will not be able to separate which one is which and what does that actually mean. So you will have to work a little bit to do it. Okay, now when we say finish here, it will create something else in there. Now, not only it adds something in the package there, but it also shows it on the screen. Now, this is the first code you guys see. Congratulations, guys. That's the first code. I hope everyone, let's make another one. That's who got to see the code. Okay, who got to see the code? Vote here, guys. Okay, I see you guys are really getting good at it. Perfect. I'm very happy. Okay, you can add also the X in there just in case if somebody didn't see the code, okay? Okay, thanks, Ahmed. I was worried maybe somebody didn't see it. I'm sure you saw it. Okay, guys, this is now, again, we have now completed, let's say, project, package, and a Java file. Okay, this is known as a class. And why? Because you see the first code that you are seeing is that this is a public class, and the class name that we put was hello world. And this package here basically is just only saying that this class is inside this package here. Okay? Is it clear up to here, guys? Now, guys, if we go again to the worst nightmare for the Mac OS people, which was the location of the project, here to the properties, and we see this folder again, once we do so, we should be able to go inside this Java Basic, to go inside the SRC, to go inside the COM, Neotech, lesson 1, and we see now there's a hello world.java. This means that this is a Java class, a Java file. Okay, were you able to see this, guys? I mean, if you were able to create it and to go here, you definitely, even if you were not able to go here for some reason, you cannot, let's say, find the properties or so, I'm sure it's in your computer if you created it here. So basically, if you can see it here, it's in the location. Is that clear, guys, for now? Any question up to here? Perfect. So this is like my general advice. Don't worry yet. Nothing to worry yet again. Just try to follow the steps. You might have things that you don't know what they do exactly yet, or what they are doing there, or why is this code showing up like that, and so don't worry about that just yet, okay? Just for now, you have learned to create a project, to create a package, and to put a class inside that package. Okay, and now we will have another break, and then we will continue again. Is that okay? So now we will have another break. So again, 15 minutes break. Lunch. I don't know where are you located, Berkay? Okay, so break until 9, guys. Okay, we'll see you in a bit. Okay, guys, see you in a bit. Hello again, guys. Okay, can you upvote who's here, please? Perfect. Okay, I see most of you are back. Okay, before we start, guys, again before we go further, for what we did on the last hour, do you have any questions you would like to ask? Or are you encountering any troubles or anything of that nature? No, Kamran, it doesn't usually, but by default, it should be created on your user files generally. So, but it does not. You can always, of course, it can be. You can change the location, you can create a new workspace there, and you can hold everything where you want it to be. So basically, it's only the folder, the central folder of the projects. Or if you want some projects, you can store them somewhere and some other projects somewhere else. But that's just a way to manage projects and to put them together in one place from Eclipse. All right. Okay, guys, any other question? Okay, so good to go. Now we have the code, we have the classes, the class basically right up to now, and we have everything. So how do we run a project? From the menus, if you have experimented a little bit, you should see these run files here, right? But as you see right now, if we run this, so nothing's going to happen because we have not put anything since it was created, nothing yet. Now, what I want you to do during this hour, I want us to go through typing things into this white space here and learn the rules, basically. What types of rules? What can we write? Where should we write it? And how we should write it. Okay, so it's already these. I moved these, for example. You see nothing happen. Like it's not just the spaces. I add spaces, I remove spaces. That's not a problem. Now, let's see when things become a problem. So for example, I added here, let's say here, I added Ahmed. You see now it shows some underlining, which is in red. And let me also take this down a little bit. So it shows on the side here, it will show you a message there as well. And also you will have an X there. Okay, so you see all of these now are signs. So basically, if you're doing something unexpected or wrong when it comes to the syntax that's allowed, okay, you get an error there. And this is a message saying that, okay, this, what you have written there, Java cannot understand what that is. We all know Ahmed, Java doesn't right now, okay? That's why it's showing like that. And this is, you will kind of see these whenever you write something that's not okay. So look, for example, there, if we say package, it's, you see right away turning red or kind reddish, kind of whatever that color is. And because it recognizes that that's a word that Eclipse knows, okay, when you write that. But if you write something as like this, it's not read. So basically, Eclipse does not know what that means. So it's not a word. Now, what does that mean? All these words that you'll see in this color are keywords Eclipse knows. So what's a keyword? Basically, we can say here, sorry, let's put it this way. Keyword is just a word that, sorry, not Eclipse, Java in this case, Java knows what it stands for. So basically, it's like, okay, I now know Turkish, and I ask a Turkish guy for a word that does not exist in Turkish. And he'll be, no, this is not a word, okay? And that's what Eclipse or Java, through Eclipse, is telling us right now. So look, I know package, but without the ending A, this is not a word, okay? And then you get that type of error there. That's why. So basically, this is our first rule. We gotta know where to write, and we gotta know the keywords of Java. And that's what we will learn. So we know that this package keyword means that this is package, and we are saying what the package is. And we know that class has a meaning, public has a meaning. What we will learn now with Java is the meaning of these and many, many more keywords. All right, guys, so that's what we are going to learn, and we will write those. Now, this is also, for example, we have this hello world here. This is also important. You see, what if we change this to this hello world? You see, this is what we discussed on the first class, case sensitive. It is not here. This is not the same as the one above. So this class name has to be completely the same as the class name on the file here, on this file, on hello world.java. So you gotta take that back, otherwise that's a problem. All right, so these are now basically some basic rules. Now next, guys, this is where the class starts. Now you will notice these brackets. So as soon as I select one of them, it selects the other two, you see? And even like we can move these, we can put more space in between. You see here, it selects the other one. Now, what are these? Basically, think of these as borders. What borders? Borders of this structure. In this case, we put that after the class. You see, after we said that this is a class, and we put this here, it means that whatever we write inside of these is going to be inside the class. And whatever we write outside of that is going to be outside of the class. Is that clear, guys? So these are basically borders. These, we have put some spaces in between, but we can also just put them right aside if we want to leave them empty, and we can put them there. Okay, but as long as they are okay, as long as they are matched, if we have this and we have another one here, just like that, Eclipse will tell you, or Java through Eclipse again, because the Eclipse basically is the IDE where we view what Java says. It says here that, look, this is extra. This does not have a match. So syntax error, it says, so delete this. This should be deleted here, right? You see, this is extra. This does not have a match. Okay, but if you have, again, a new one, and you have a match here, you see, these again, somehow it creates its own borders, right? So this is basically, these, you will see a lot of these brackets. But the rule is, whenever you open a bracket, it has a closing. So basically, you are defining. Let me add it onto the file here so that we can have it here. Curly brackets. That's what they are known. And whenever, so basically, first they represent borders. Okay, whenever you open a bracket, closing bracket must be also done, or put, or whatever we can say. Now, okay, so but for a class, or for, let's say, for a structure, you need just a set of brackets you have defined. So all whatever we write in here is in this class. Now, inside of this class, we want to start very simply, very simply. We want to start to kind of write stuff, okay? So here we will say something again, public static void main. Okay, now still, guys, no need to worry yet. No need to worry yet. No need to worry yet. You will learn what these are. Now, why do we write this? Is just I want to show you guys what we will start with. So this is the simplest thing we'll start with, guys. So we have a class here, and we have a main. Now, if we collect this, or if we, there's a shortcut that I can fix everything in an instant. Let me write it here. You can try that. If you change the text as well, Control-Shift-F, so whatever change you put in there, Control-Shift-F brings everything together. Okay, just keep that in mind, and you'll practice on that. Now, this is the simplest form that we'll see, guys. And what do we have here? We see that we have here a title package, which says that whatever it's inside of this file, it belongs to this package, and we can see that, right? And then we have a class here saying that it has some borders, and whatever is in this side of this class is coded here. And then we have this smaller structure here, which is called method, and you will learn about those. But what you need to know that is this is a special method. This is main method. Okay, this is a main method. And what is special about the main method is that whenever we run some code, this is the first thing, or this is where everything starts. Okay, this is the starting point. Whenever you run this, whatever we want to run here, the Java will go to this class, to this main method, and say that, okay, do you have anything? And it will read whatever is in there. Okay, so this is where everything starts, the starting point. So we will put that again in writing. And say here, main method. I know, guys, you don't know yet what the method is, and you don't know yet a lot of stuff, but let's just keep it this way. Let the information flow right now, and let's make the first run. And one by one, class after class, we will begin clarifying what's public, what's static, what's void, what's a method, what is a class, how we can create other classes. So basically, we're going to build on this. So what are we doing right now? We are very easy touching some patterns of the big picture. Okay, so think of it like puzzles where you have small pictures put one after another. Now that's what we are doing here. We are just looking at one very small tile there, and then after each class, during each class, we will add some more tiles and have a very clear picture. Okay. So if you don't know what this does and why is this written this way up to now, again, no worries. Okay, let's just get to the point where we see some running, something doing something. Okay, so now this is everything here. Everything here, or let's say, sorry, this is where everything starts. So main method, also known as main method. Now you see this is in green. This is how we write a comment here. Okay, if we put this, it's going to be black and it's a problem. But if we say 2 slashes here, And it's the same for Mac, and like most of the, like whatever we are going to do in code, guys, is the same no matter what type of computer you're working on, okay? So you put these two slashes here, it will create a comment. And I will leave this here for you guys to see that, okay, this is a class, this is the where everything starts, okay? And now we want to print something out, basically to tell the code to say us something. Okay, this is the simplest thing we can do. So we say system.out.print, and we want to print here, and in these double quotes we write hello world. Now this is the simplest class that we will be running, guys. And again, how do we run it? You have this green button here. Now, I don't know how you guys are. Actually, let me make a poll. Some of you might write faster, some of you might write slower. I will try to go slow, but I would suggest like you try to follow up and keep writing the same things that I'm writing in the same time, okay? Even for during these times, okay? Right now, you might just be looking at it and getting an idea, and that's okay. But as we start writing more and more, because this will help you in two key points. You will start writing faster, and also at the same time, you will be able to follow and do them yourself too. Okay, so let me add a poll here. So basically, did you write this code? And guys, that's no problem if you didn't, or if you, I just want to see where, because it helps me adjust my speed, write slower, write faster, because there's no point, if all of you are good, we can use that leverage and to go on and to push more, okay? So that's why I want to know. All right, if you didn't, you can, okay, so now, no problem, Shine, let's go over the structure again. We can repeat the structure one more time. I think it's, especially being the first time we are seeing something like this, no matter how many times we repeat it, you will again have to repeat it yourself and go over it. So what do we have here? We have a class that starts at this point, okay, at this point here, and it ends at this point, and includes everything inside it. So look, it includes everything inside whatever we wrote to that. So basically, the main method goes inside of the hello world class. All right? So think of it as a bigger box, and we have another small box in there. And inside this small box, we are putting something, which in this case, inside this small box here, now look at it. So it starts again, main starts inside the hello world and ends inside the hello world. Okay? And inside of this, we are saying something like this. Now, what problems might arise is that if you don't write this the same way, so this is, we will learn, and we will explain that later, that this is something, for now, you can try to write it the same exact way. So even if you write, remember, Java is case sensitive. If you write it, so this is an error, whatever, this is an error here. If you write this, let's say here, it will not show you a problem, but when you run it, it will, because it will know that it is not the main that it wants. It wants the main with all lowercase, and even it should be seen like this. So everything that's not exactly how Java wants it is wrong. So basically, we can say this, that computers are dumb. So it is us who have to figure out what to give, otherwise they will not understand anything. Okay, so now we have this file here. Were you able, so if you continued coding it and you code it, please vote on the did you code it poll there, okay? And now to run it, we just say here run, or we can go here and say run, or we can combine Control and F11 to run. So we can just say run this, okay? And the first time that we will be running, it will say select the resource that you want to run. You want to run this hello world Java, okay? And then you can say okay. But it's good if you select this one too. So right now, let me stop here right now. You see, there is a star at the top of the on the left corner of the hello world.java, which means that you have made some changes, but you have not saved yet. Okay, and this is the save button is here. You see, there is save. So once you save it, it will go away. Once you edit something, just something here, you want to just press enter, you edited one more thing there, and you see it shows again. And what I do usually, whenever I run something, I say I check this in case I haven't saved the file, save it for me before running. Okay, and then I say okay. Now we should see this hello world. Okay, who talked? Who talked to the computer? Guys, vote on this poll. Perfect, perfect. So don't mind me and my polls. I just want to know what's going on all the time, okay? I'm creepy. Perfect. 15, it's good. It's good, guys. It's a good start. And again, please, for those who did not do it yet, don't worry about that. You will see what you need is just practice. Follow the video slowly, do exactly the same thing, and then you will get it definitely. Now for the saving, it's that you see, if you change something, there's a star here at the corner, at the top corner. So that's very difficult to see. Let me see if this can help me. You see, guys, there's a very small thing in the right there, okay? You see, once I say save here, in this part, it's going to go away. But if I do something more, okay, if I do something, it will show again there. All right? And then if you run here or here, we said that save before running. It saves automatically. Okay, guys? Is that clear? Exactly. Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you for your support. Sure, Mehmet, take your time, no worries. So what comes after system.out.print? It's, maybe if I magnify it a bit, guys, okay, for those who didn't write it, I will just copy paste the code here and I will share it, all right? So that also you can see better if in my, okay, so for those who didn't code it or who cannot see because of the screen, some small parts or so, actually the writing I should be able to make it larger. I'm not sure, I don't see it. I'll check on that, but what is the package.com line? Okay, sure. Guys, let's go. We can go. Yes, it's like a green play button, exactly. Now, we can go again over it, guys, okay? No worries. Let's go over it again from the beginning. Just copy the code and let's try. Let me see here if I can. Okay. Okay, guys, let's go again over it. All right, now let's start from the beginning. What we did, we created a project. On that project, we put a package here, which will contain whatever we do today's class. And next class, you will create another package. So think packages as the boxes, where we will put every lecture material we get or every code we write regarding one class. The next class, you will create another package, which will be completely the same, but will have lesson 2. And then inside of it, you will create these Java files. Java files are the ones that we call Java classes. Whatever we write as codes, it must go inside of these classes. Okay, it's a must. And then we started that class. We started that class, and we see that the first thing we see there is that we have a package. Whatever we create, as soon as we create, we have the Java will put exactly some small stuff inside this file. All right, as soon as it is created, and then when it gets created, depending on the settings, we will see we can put something more, we can put something less, we can start from somewhere when we create a class. But we created the simplest class. Okay, so what did we say? We went here, we said create a class, and we just put a name on that class. That's the simplest class we created, empty, totally empty. Then we wrote this code inside, which is a method inside of it. So this is the main method. It's the most important thing regarding Java that you'll learn, at least not only today, for many classes up to here. Okay, there are other important things as well, but this is where everything starts. So if you don't have this method here, no matter how many times you run, it's not going to print anything, it's not going to do anything, because the computer will not know where to start. So think of it like, even for those with a little background, for example, of how computers work, even when you turn on the computer, there's a very point that starts everything, all the system. And the same thing, think about this one. So whenever you say run this, when you press this green button here as play, whenever you run it, it's going to go and look, is there a main method? If there's a main method, is anything inside of that main method that I will read? And it reads this file, this row. Okay, so the package is just saying where this class is found. So this class is found on this package here, com.neotech.lesson. And inside of this class, you can see inside of that, we have a main method. Inside of that main method, we have a print line. A print line is the most usual thing that you will learn. Now, you will master this even from this class. So how do you write another one? You can say here system. As soon as you say dot, it will try to tell you something. Out dot print and ln print line, and you'll say this here. Okay, so that's basically, if you leave it empty, it will not bring anything out. But if you write something in it, and when you write, remember, you have to write in double quotes. Okay, and this is second print. This is the second print. Okay, now we can run it. You have to save, but even if you don't save it, because for myself, I checked that the box, when it said that save before running, it will run for me, right? You see, this is the second print. All right, and we can put some here. And again, we can say system out dot print line. Again, we can say here, this is the third line. And now, guys, so what we will do, you will notice this actually. We will explain everything as it is, and then we will try also to give you help and do things shorter, do things simply, okay? And that's, for example, here, instead of writing this complete system.out.println, you can actually use a shortcut too. You can say SOUT, S-O out, so S-O-U-T, basically system out, and then if you press control and space bar, it will give you the option to say SOUT. Okay, you should try this. Okay, let me put this in writing first, guys. Here, I didn't define this main method. This is where we said that this is where everything starts to run. So basically starting point. Now, regarding the S out, I'm not sure. Ahmed, please double check. Like I don't remember what's on Mac, but it should be something with, yes. Oh, it's for both the same then. Okay. So S out, and when you press or you write that, and then you press Control plus space bar. Let me put it this way, space bar, and then it will show up, it will pop up like, let's try. So please try you as well. So S out like this, and when you press this, so for me it shows some additional stuff, but this is it, sys out. You see system dot out dot println. Okay, time for another poll. Okay, who was able to use SOUT? Once you go there, you go. If it doesn't show you the first one, usually it shows the first one, but if it doesn't, then you can go there, or you can use this one and go immediately. Okay, so let me put it this way, guys, as a comment for you so that you have it here. So this SOUT plus Control key plus spacebar. So actually, I will not put plus because you'll try to find that as a key. Control plus space bar. Then select SOUT. Or the second one is that you can immediately say SysOut and Control. Okay, so did you see the difference, guys? So if you say SysOut and then you press this, it immediately will show it. Okay, if you just press SOUT, it will let you select which one you want. Is that clear? Perfect. Can you vote, guys? Were you able to use it? Okay, actually, I mean, guys, maybe I'm also going a bit fast on this part. Let me actually keep that here as a comment. Let me keep that as a comment. But everyone, guys, concentrate on this one. Only learn this one right now, okay? SysOut, okay? And then you press. Let me show this for you. Keyboard. Oops. Let me show this, guys, on screen. Keyboard. Okay, so we have this, guys. All right, so we are there. Control and space will give us that, okay? But look at this, huh? Control is pressed actually. So you keep Control pressed and then space bar and that's it. It should be, let me write it again here, sys out, control space. Okay, now can you go and vote again? Were you able to use sys out? Let me edit this. Perfect, perfect. Vote, guys. I think it's still not many people did it. 11 people. It's not enough. This one. I mean, I don't want to push. Always vote if you did it, guys. Okay, please. It's better that way. Okay, so then the second part comes putting it in something in double quotes and just printing out. Today is Tuesday. I thought it was Monday because the Monday was off, so that's what happened. Now this will print, guys. Whatever we wrote, it will print it here. Okay. All right. So where are we? Let's try to see. Let me try and see how we're doing, guys. Any question, guys? Anything you want me to repeat? I might have gone something fast, so you might not be the only one that did not get that part or so. Please let me know. From which part? From the yes, Kamran, as soon as you actually put the first one, it actually auto completes the second one too. Mehmet, from which part would you like to recap? Sure, let's do that. Okay, so what let me do this first. Okay, let's go start from beginning here. Now everything what we have done up to here, it goes in ones. So the first one, we created a big box, which is the biggest box of all, is the project. And this big project now, it includes everything else that we will do at least for some months. Inside that big box, we are now putting some smaller boxes, which are packages. Okay, packages. Now this package again will be something that we will put every class. Every class we will create a package. Inside that package, we will create these Java files that are classes, are known as classes. We will learn what classes are in more details, but we will learn it later as soon as we try and pick up a bit of syntax. When we have some syntax skills, then we can go more deep into everything like classes, methods. We will do that. Then what did we do? We just wrote one line of code inside these entities. So we have hello world class here, we have main method here, and we have just one line of code. All right, up to there. So we just have one line of code. What does this line mean? Let's go over it. It means that system out print line, and we are putting something into the double quotes, and we are putting a semicolon at the end. This will make us only output whatever is inside of that. And what do I mean by output? This is the console. Everything, yeah, you run again. Everything you want to print something, or if you do some change, you run again. Okay, now this what this does actually, it just prints into console. So this console here is whatever we write or whatever we will be doing there, and we want to see some output, some result, we are actually printing here in this section, okay? And even if this gets lost somehow somewhere and you have trouble finding it, just go to Window, Show View, and you get a console back. Okay? Now, what rules generally for beginners, what I've seen that encounter the most problems? First one, I will write them actually here. Be careful. Or probably we can also name this as probably your next mistake is actually. So the first one is brackets. Now it might get a bit confusing at the beginning until you know what type of bracket is used. Okay, so for example, you see for the class and for the methods, you have these curly brackets. For these parts inside, you have now round brackets. Okay, so it might get a bit confusing until you know where each one goes. Definitely, definitely. We will share, so we have created a classroom in Google Classroom, and we will share all the materials. For example, for class 1, we will put the video there, we will put the notes there and everything, okay? Even the Java class, we will share it, no problem. And so you need, first thing that you will try, maybe that you'll have trouble with at the beginning, is the brackets. Where do the curly brackets go? Where do these round brackets go? And so right now you just try to understand the pattern. Okay, there will be, you will get used to that very easily. Next thing that people usually initially do forget is this small thing at the end, which is crucial and most important. Okay, what does this do? This tells Java that your sentence is done. Okay, and you have to put it there, otherwise that's a problem. Okay, that's a problem. This red thing says here that you need to put that. Okay, so usually when somebody starts coding, semicolon, let me put this semicolon, you forgot, I'll put it, don't forget semicolons at the end of the sentences. Okay, guys. And so that's what we learned up to here. Now you can write, try yourself, can you write something like this and print whatever you want? Can you do that? Okay, I put a new poll, guys. Can you write that and vote if you can? $13, that's good. That's good, guys. 14, let's go. More, who wrote it next? Perfect, perfect, perfect. Thank you, guys. Okay, so basically, guys, you can either write it one by one as system.out.println, or like we learned as sysout, and you write control and space. So Eclipse itself has actually tried to put a lot of shortcuts there. You will see, you will learn a lot of shortcuts, but you shouldn't, I mean, don't use them since the beginning. Try to maybe use it like this at the beginning, because like long sentence, because you will start writing faster and you might get even more accustomed to those. You might get more useful to those, more used, you know. System dot out dot print line, and then you print something here. Okay, guys, any question up to here? No questions at all? It means it was very understandable, I guess. Perfect. Now, your practice, guys, for until next class. This is your practice. You can try and do whatever we did in this video 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, okay? As much as you can to get comfortable with these, what we did. Now, one last thing before I let you go, guys, I want to do is I want to run with an error. I want to show you guys what an error is, okay? So we forget something there, and we want to run this. So I don't want you guys to get scared if you see stuff like this. Okay? So what did I do? I forgot just one thing here, and look at like how terrifying this screen becomes, okay? I don't want you guys to get scared out of this. This is actually helpful. Look at what it says. It says that there's a syntax error, insert this to complete statement. And where is it? In line 13. Okay, so I just want to show also some red thing there. You don't need to worry a lot about that. But in case it encounters something like that, I don't want you guys to think that, okay, everything broke down. All right? Perfect, perfect. Thanks for sharing, Atolo. Guys, also, if I'm not pronouncing on any of the names right, even during the class, because I'll be mentioning names that will comment here, please let me know, write me on private there, direct also, and I will correct myself, okay? Now, if you don't have any question, guys, let's recap whatever we did today, okay? So what did we do? Let's address our notes here. First of all, we said that we started with programming, right? Let me put this here. I want to put this at the top. We said programming. What is programming? What is coding? What is Java and what is Eclipse? So how do these relate to each other? We said that programmings are sets of instructions that we set to the computer. And the coding stands for that too. And then we said that we can do this using different languages, and Java is one of them. What we are working on right now is Java. And then we can do that in a very simple text editor using very like black command prompt screen and so like they did it in the 60s, or we can also code with IDEs, which is Eclipse is one of the IDEs. And it is very helpful because we see that what we are putting, we see what we get after we run. We have a button that does everything. It runs for us. We don't have to run any commands, and so that's very useful, okay? And then we said case sensitive. Remember this, case sensitive. It means that a small letter A is not the same as a capital letter A when it comes to Java. So if you change, if let's say if public is written in all lowercase for Java, if you write just one of them in capital, Java will think that's totally different thing. So that means it's case sensitive. Then we said, what did we, what parts does Java has in our computer and how do they run up to now? We said that JRE is used to run Java applications. Meanwhile, JDK is what helps us write these codes and translate these codes to the computer. How? By using the JVM, the Java Virtual Machine, which works as a translator, and it gets our comments or like codes, and it translates to the computer. Okay. Then we opened an Eclipse project. So basically now we started hands-on. We started working on those, not only theoretically. And we said, create a project, create a package, and create a Java file. Then on those Java files, we wrote some keywords. We created a class, we created a method, and we added one statement, which is the system out. We added many more systems out, and you will practice them at home too. We wrote to learn a shortcut for the system out print line. So which is actually, let me write this way better. You don't need to learn the other one as well. Sys out, control, and spacebar. Okay, and you gotta be careful of brackets. If you don't close properly, if you have some trouble, you'll get an error, and that's not the end of the world. Okay, you will learn to identify brackets, to see where it closes, where it opens, and so you will get better at it. So semicolons, if you forget a semicolon, you will immediately, before even running, you don't need to run, even if before running, you will see some red underlining and also an X on the side, which will show you that, look, even before you run, Eclipse knows that you have an error there. Like this one that we did, for example. Even before running, we have a red line here and also an X there showing that we have an error. Okay, guys? Up to here, any question, guys? Anything you did not understand? Okay, so now what I want you guys to do is, until next class, I want you to just go over, read the materials in that we will upload, the PDF file. And if you don't understand what any of those means, one of them, for example, you don't understand really what that is and why is that good to have for Java, for example, we listed some properties. Please do some research or check it out what that means, ask us what that means, and we can clarify that too, okay? So don't stop at okay, we did our class and we're done. No. And then try to do this procedure again. You can create many other projects. Don't create them on the same name. You can create some other projects just for your satisfaction, and then you can delete them too. So no problem. Just create a project, create a package, and create a class, print out something. Do that procedure as many times as you can until the next class. Okay? And if you cannot do it for some reason, you get some error or anything, just let us know. All right. Final poll. Now, let me put some options there. I'll say 1, standing for the most difficult, guys. The most, or actually, no, 3 is most difficult. You can vote with 3, which is very difficult. Somewhat, or middle, which is medium, and 1 is the easy. Okay, you can add, like, let me add 3 there to be there. You can also add 2. Add reaction, and you can add 2 as well. Okay. I just want to see how basically we will get to know you guys more and what is difficult and what is easy, and we want to adjust our speed to that and to know what points to hit. Okay, that's why we need this. Okay, vote on. Okay, happy means Kamran. Happy means easy, and right or no? We got. Okay, happy it's easy then. Okay, but just for oh, perfect. But we got some. Okay, you got also anguished. Okay, guys, if you don't have any other question, that is it for tonight. We will notify you when we upload materials, when we put something into the classroom as well. And no, no, I voted easy. Wait a minute. Am I the only one keeping 3 there? Oh no. Okay, then it's easy. I just put it there, Mufasa, I put it there so that it's there as an option, okay? All right, guys. I wish you guys a good night, and thank you very much for following the class. And please, if you have any question, again, you might forget something, just try to get into the course mode and be always attentive. Okay. Have a good night, guys. I'll meet you on Saturday. So I think you'll have another Java class on Thursday. Good luck on that as well. Good night.